So let's talk a bit about optics. Have you thought about what somebody sees when they see you? You should. Maturity, perspective, political savvy, personal brand, PR, reputation management, trust, professionalism, credibility. Even if you don't already hear these words on a weekly basis, at least as your management career progresses, you're going to find yourself hearing and using them more and more. Probably quite exasperatedly at times, unless of course you start proactively discussing and debating these themes with your direct reports right now. After all, this is a key purpose of this whole coaching concept, a tool for beneficial team discussion and learning. Coaching, disciplining, considering interview candidates, discussing and solving problems caused by particular individuals. Optics are relevant across the board. Some managers refer primarily to optics. Those who have spent time with me will have heard frequent mention of one's PR or reputation management. The world at large often refers to personal brand. All of these terms are relevant here. When we discuss them in the negative, we're generally in the same ballpark of concerns. Why should you care about optics? First and foremost, remember that your priorities need to be making good decisions and taking good actions based on reasonable, rational information. It's hard for anyone to argue with this approach in the workplace. Optics are secondary to that. When you start worrying about your optics first, that's when observers start becoming concerned about style over substance or talk over actions. For those who want to be their authentic selves 100% of the time, this topic can irritate. Why shouldn't I say and do what feels instinctively right in the moment? They will cry. Well, A, in general, because billions of us humans need to operate together and this requires consideration and flexibility from all of us. And B, more specifically, because we sell ourselves to clients and we sell ourselves to colleagues who expect certain human and professional standards from us that we cannot let drop. Great hard work can be unfairly, entirely forgotten with one poor decision. For every 10 positive things a person does, one silly event can cause havoc. We humans love to gossip, exaggerate, bring people down a notch, knock out the competition, or however you want to put it. Sometimes people may have earned that, for example, where somebody is continuously, actively trying to get away with certain negative behaviours and people are getting tired of it. Sometimes they don't deserve it at all, for example, genuine error. Everything we say and do is interpreted by others in the moment and later upon further reflection and conversation, so it's sensible to be mindful of how we appear to others. They play a role in our fate. For example, person A is unlikely to be put in charge of a team if everyone knows the team is likely to become very upset about this based on person A's observed behaviours in the past. Why make a happy team sad by putting a blunt instrument, so to speak, in control of it? Especially if you are someone who wants to be considered a star in the organisation, you need to be in control of your own reputation. This means you have to have the maturity and common sense to be able to estimate what people might be thinking as they watch you in action. How others perceive us and the reputation that results from that absolutely matters. And don't forget optics and our clients. We often forget that our clients are just humans too. They're making the same observations as our colleagues, our friends, our family. They too have eyes and are interpreting our words and actions. Clients, like everyone else, want no surprises. They want to feel respected, taken seriously, and like they can trust us. And they want to see firm evidence that we trust each other within an organisation. There's nothing worse than a client being able to detect office politics at the other end of a phone call. They want to see maturity, perspective, acumen and care, all those words from earlier. They don't really want to hear the words risk or error or forgot. If we neglect to go to a scheduled meeting, how might your client contact feel in that moment? Well, how might you feel if you made an appointment with somebody and they didn't show up? There's your answer. What kind of behaviours are we talking about here with optics? There are so many. This can be an interesting list for team discussion if you wish to avoid or iron out certain behaviours. It's interesting to hear what people are noticing once they open up and start talking. To address these issues with individuals, your starting questions could be something along the lines of, what do you think people or the client or your colleagues think when they see you do behaviour X? Or, you have an audience at any given time, a range of people who see you, hopefully like you, hopefully want to work with you and help you. How do you think they are feeling? Do you think your audience will be expanding or contracting on the basis of your current behaviour? Some will instantaneously improve just by having this blind spot pointed out. Some, see what I said earlier, will fight back a bit. Either way, As a member of the management team, it is your responsibility to help people eliminate poor behaviours that may affect our people or our business, however long and difficult that process may be. In conclusion, a great man, specifically Tom York from Radiohead, once sang, "You do it to yourself, you do, and that's what really hurts." Indeed, there's nothing more frustrating than when you realise you've created damage for yourself, or watching a member of your team contribute to their own reputational destruction. As a manager, if you haven't taught your team about this concept, you've dropped a ball as far as I'm concerned, as it's one of the more abstract things that doesn't come naturally onto everybody's radar. It's not fair to wait until somebody messes up before discussing it. You need to think about your impact on others, of course. This will always be a key theme of coaching. However, this is the reminder to also think about your impact on yourself and your own progression. You may feel at times you got away with something in the moment, but rest assured it's probably a conversation somewhere. No showdown does not mean no consequences. If colleagues or friends or family don't correct you all the time, it could simply mean they've given up a little bit, and that's the last thing that you need. Consider this: how do you think your optics might be right now? We can't be perfect for everyone, but any low-hanging fruit is certainly worth a